everyone. Boy, oh boy, did Augie have an interesting after hours. I wasn't able to catch the full thing, but I did rewatch it this morning. Augie's burnt the Flamenco bridge. You see, Augie's been infamous for being the one who's usually, Flamenco's keeper. Despite being 10 years younger than him, Augie's had to wrangle Flamenco in every now and then, Are you seriously going live? Wait, hang on, what? Are you seriously going live? Shaking my head. Oh, I forgot his new song was premiering today. Shoot. Okay. Well, no, I don't think he's definitely gonna get more than the premiere. I literally just got done doing what I had to do, so I figured why not do the stream? But yeah, The Flamenco Files by Augie RFC. So yeah, Augie decided to drop an entire doc yesterday, and oh boy, this is I said before, this is 17 pages of Augie's interactions with Flamenco, and 17 pages of everything that's gone on. In 2019, I met Flamenco back when I used to co-host for Ethan Ralph's podcast. A year later, Flamenco became an unofficial co-host for RFC and has been since. Since political arslers might say I have de-radicalized Flamenco from the far right and pulled him into the normie land, I don't really think that's what happened, but it's a funny way to look at it. I mean, yeah, when he made it he made Flamenco bearable to a somewhat normie audience that wasn't used to the VTuber stuff. But the far right, I don't normally consider this, but funny way to look at it. Flamenco was someone I would consider a friend, and he was just someone I enjoyed talking to on the show, but rarely ever offline. A lot of people around me didn't like Flamenco and thought he wasn't a very good guy. Flamenco himself has ended up in a lot of drama over the last 6 months. Oh boy. And because of all of this, a lot of people have pressured me to cast him out and banish him from the community. Let me be clear, first and foremost, there is no RFC community, and no one is part of RFC. If you like the show and some of the people that hang out around the show, that's one thing. But I will not be leading a recognized group or cult where I bring in new refugees from other communities and cast out bad actors. I mean, that's fair. I mean, you can't, Augie is allowed to have on who he wants to have on, even if the audience may not like them as much. It's his opinion. He's allowed to do what he wants to do. But that being said, I thought you weren't streaming. I thought I wasn't going to stream either, Abby. But hey, we're able to do it. RFC, where do I place? There's no RFC community, but I'm not leading a cult, refugees to other communities, and cast out bad actors. Okay, here we go. Not that I haven't in the past, of course, but that's not my main line of business. Unironically, canceling people. That being said, it is true that my opinions hold some sort of weight around this sphere. And because of that, where most people who watch the show don't like someone, they almost demand that I have to say something about it, because that's what they want at the end of the day. More blood, more content. I am just a man of content, but I am also loyal to people that I consider friends. I'm not just going to bury someone on a slow news day when I feel like it, or when I feel that I'm pressured by others to do it. But also, I'm almost too loyal to the homies. Yeah, too many people have the homies rule, apparently. And because of that, I've let a lot of people stay around, despite them showing that their true colors to me multiple times. and I think it's time to put an end to that. Flamenco has been engaging in lies and deception for the last couple of weeks, and even longer than that. Today, I want to highlight all of it and make my opinion on Flamenco solidified. So to translate, he's tired of it all. He's tired of everything that's going on so far. Let's start with the very beginning. February 23rd, 2022, about 5 months ago. From the time of writing, on that night, the biggest event in history for the last year took place. The Flamenco Xander Hall mom drama, as well as the Russian-Ukraine invasion. Of course, I will go into the mud. Flamenco's exact quote. Now, let me click on this. Might take a minute for it to load because of my internet, but hey. Here we go.
I will go into the fucking mud, though. I will. Because, you know what I think I might do if he really actually does try to sabotage me? Because it's not really about the damages, right? He is unable to really damage me. I think that the broad majority of my audience doesn't care. Most of my audience is either people who have come in from Augie's sphere, who hate this guy, from the VTuber sphere, who have no fucking clue who this person is, and the Medicare people, who also probably wouldn't like this guy.
So this is an interesting line of thinking here. Flamenco thinks that because none of his audience members either know about Xander Hall or dislike him, he can get away with using doxing information to contact his mother to try and ruin his life. Also, too, he directly acknowledges the fact that some of his audience is made up of Augie's audience and therefore commentary. Now, for the last couple of weeks, since this drama started, Flamenco has acted like he's never wanted any part of the commentary community because that's never been his core audience, right? But here, he kind of contradicts himself. I mean, it's a third of your audience after all. I would say that's a good chunk of your audience. So, also too, he's been literally on everyone that matters anyway. He's been on a lot of streams trying to defend himself, trying to make himself look good in the commentary community to try and get his reputation back because he doesn't want to lose the commentary audience. But then again, what was I gonna say? Sorry. For the past couple of weeks, he's been claiming that he doesn't want it. Not at all. But yeah, let's continue on. That was Flam's exact quote. When he came up with the amazing idea to contact Xander Hall's mom through an email that he would have obtained only through a dox on Kiwi farms. But why would he do this? It's because Xander Hall and his mother have a complex relationship. At one moment, they are chill and can be seen chilling on stream together. Then at other points, Xander Hall will rant on stream or on his Discord about his mom being abusive or not being supportive of his dreams of becoming the owner of the largest Discord e-sex dungeon ever. At this point, Flamenco somehow devised a theory that Xander Hall's mother was paying for his rent, and if he were to show his mom the crap talking that Xander Hall has done on his Discord or on streams, that she would cut him off and leave Xander Hall homeless with his main financial support gone. And just take a look at this explanation here, and then we'll go to this link.
This guy doesn't make a whole lot of money on the internet. but he has rent that is like upwards of $1,600 a month. My personal theory is that he is not he is not subsidizing his own income through work or anything, and that he is largely paying his rent through his parents floating his rent bill. Now, he has a very interesting history with his parents. He has a very interesting history with his mother specifically. This guy has gone on record saying that his mom was mentally and physically abusive towards him. He even went so far as to say that his mother, through the, I guess, the nature of living in a gated community and not allowing him to leave, I don't know how that would work, was holding him at gunpoint because the gated community had a armed security like force that was on that in that like gated community.
So yeah, here he's explaining in detail about how much he knows about Xander Hall's like personal life allegedly, right? Keep in mind, Xander Hall is like a year or two older than Augie, and Flamenco is in his early to mid 30s, and he's obsessing over this 20-year-old because he spends all day on Xander Hall's kiwi farms as well as Keffels. Discords or whatever. Xander Hall's mother was paying his rent. Explanation you can see here. He also explained this on Kiwi Farms and here. Also, a year before this stream and a year before that. Right off the bat, let's establish what's happening here. Immediately, Flamenco is thinking out loud and openly. Let's see. What's this link over here? Red Fox Comms. So, Red Fox Comms Twitter. Let's go to here. See what pops up. Again, it might take a minute to load. But yeah, here is screenshots of Flamenco's Flamenco being in Xander Hall's Kiwi Farms threads. This I would be sad if DSP got evicted, as that would mean less content. Xander Hall getting evicted and begging to move back in his family would be funny. So here he doesn't care. He doesn't care if somehow he's able to get Xander Hall evicted, because in his eyes, he views Xander Hall as morally evil, the same way he views Ethan Ralph. But here's the thing, Xander Hall, now you can criticize him on the takes that he's had in the past, but he's not on the level of Ethan Ralph, not by a long shot. And so him trying to be open about wanting to do something on this level is just wrong to begin with. Flamenco is thinking out loud and openly about how hard he can mess with Xander Hall without losing his audience. From the start, Flamenco has established that he doesn't really care about the morality of the situation, only the optics and how it looks. It's also important to distinguish who Flamenco knows his audience is from: VTubers, Medicare, and myself. So right there, he exposes something about his potential motives. He feels on some level he's dependent on me, given that he shares a third of my audience, and that they are more loyal to me than him. It's in his best interest not to make me mad. Otherwise, he could take a pay cut as a result. This is very interesting. It will come into effect later on. As we will see, Flamenco handles conflict very differently with me than he does with other people, like Nicholas Diorio. But back to the clip, he says, "I'm feeling this out with you guys. I'm spitballing ideas." He's saying this to minimize the aggressive play he wants to make here. He just openly talked about a plan to sabotage Xander Hall's relationship with his own mother. Yeah. And like you see, he's constantly begged. He's begged Augie in the past to like raid him and stuff. He does co-streams with him. Like, I was bringing this up with Squatchin the other day, or I'm sorry, not the other day, a couple of hours ago, right? That's because he's tried to say, oh, I never had your audience, I never wanted your audience, right? But then like he's been repeatedly begging Augie for his audience. That's like if like me and Mike the Bike got into a fight, right? Because like Mike's someone who I frequently do co-streams with, right? That's like if me and Mike got into an argument, and then like for some reason I say, well, I never wanted your audience, Mike. Like that would be a lie right there, because obviously if I'm streaming while he's streaming and we're just having a conversation, right? That's an idea to like do some cross audience, right? And the same thing with Tipster, because I did a co-stream with Tipster one time. He rated me. Obviously, that would imply that at least some of his audience subscribed to me, right? So like me saying that I never wanted the audience in the first place would just be wrong, because obviously I'm streaming with him. That clearly means to some degree I would want some of the audience, right? And he hopes that it would ruin him financially, as if the emotional damage wasn't enough. Jesus, he must really hate Xanderhall, huh? If he really does hate Xanderhall that much, then why? Xanderhall is the least intimidating or threatening person on the web. Not even that, he's the least intimidating and threatening person that he's had to deal with. Remember, he has to deal with people like Ethan, who justifies every single dox he does. To my knowledge, Xanderhall has, other than disagreeing with Flamenco politically, has never attempted to dox him. I know he made that video on Flamenco harassing him, but that's about it. But yeah, it doesn't that much. Then why? Xanderhall is the least intimidating person on the web. He doesn't really do anything that's beyond the scale of unreasonable. Sure, he has some cringy takes and he's a bread tuber, so yeah, I get why people like picking on him, but compared to someone like Keffels or even his son, Xanderhall is nothing. I directly remember Flamenco asking me for advice in DMs of how the now banned Discord account, don't worry, the screenshots shown later on, about what to do in the event that Xanderhall makes a video on him. I laughed at him and told him that no one would care. I explained to him exactly what he would go on to explain on stream, that his audience wouldn't take a word of Xanderhall said seriously. Despite me telling him this before, Flamenco was deadly worried for some reason that Xanderhall's video would damage him. Why was he so worried? Well, I don't think he was worried at all. I think he wanted us to think Xanderhall's video would be horrible, so that way he could justify horrible actions towards Xanderhall. In the same way we justify laughing at horrible crap that happens to Ralph, Flamenco wanted to mess with Xanderhall because he didn't like him. But he needed an excuse, and he thought a video would be that excuse. Flamenco claims that what he's doing isn't harassment, which is laughable when you look at what he's been doing recently, which we will get into. The last thing I want to say about it is this. Notice how Flamenco never outright says he's going to do it, only that he might, or he's feeling the chat about it, or that he's doing it in revenge of the video coming out. He never outright says, I'm going to do it, guys, which buys him the excuse later on where he can say it was just a temporary feeling that he had. I fell for this crap back then, but I'm no longer going to now. Flamenco was doing this on purpose in order to soften the thing that he was fully intended to perform. Had it not been for the initial chat reaction of it and myself calling into the show, let's talk about my confrontation with Flamenco. I actually had two. The first one on the same stream you just listened to, and immediately Flamenco sets up justification by saying he's going after my lol internet career. That's the thing. Like, and despite the fact that he said, yeah, I was wrong for doing it, right? Despite the fact that he was willing to walk it back, well, supposedly walk it back, since this drama started, he's been defending that point again. He's been defending his point against Xanderhall, despite the fact that everyone has agreed that that was a terrible thing for him to do in the first place. But yeah, let's listen to this.
So you're snitching him out to his mom. Like, how petty does this get? Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Oh, I think that he's trying to ruin my I guess like my lol internet career or whatever.
Again, he's never gonna do that. I already explained this to you this morning, right?
So no, he is gonna try to do it, and it's the attempt.
But listen to what's gonna happen. All right, listen to what's gonna happen. He's gonna make a video, and he's gonna be like, "Okay, guys, Flamenco is cringe. He was stalking me 2 years ago on Kiwi Farms, and then Vosh made a video." And none of your audience is gonna give a shit. They're either, if anything, if they go watch the video, they're gonna go there to dislike and go fuck with Xanderhall. They're not gonna listen to that and be like, "Oh wow, Flamenco's a creepy asshole." Either they aren't going to agree with it, or they won't care. They might think you're insane, but they won't care.
So yeah, Augie explains right there that he shouldn't care, but like Flamenco still wants to go at it. Like, no, see, he's trying to ruin my career, so I'm gonna get back at him by ruining his actual life. Like, bro. Flamenco expects us to believe that he was actually worried about one video from Xanderhall. From one video from Xanderhall would kill his whole career. Good one, dude. Everyone with IQ about 30 would realize that the damage done to Flamenco's channel by a crappy video put together from Xanderhall's ex would be minimum, to say the least. Although more than likely completely non-existent, Flamenco's tism attaches itself to various people negatively. This sounds like I'm joking, but I promise you I'm not. Flamenco thinks Salvo, Ethan Ralph, and Xanderhall are Hitler 2, 3, and 4. Let's see what he says here. I want to listen to this.
Need to do going forward is to just completely fucking ignore this retard.
That's a good idea.
Because I get irrationally
That's
angry when it comes to this person.
And the thing is that we've had this conversation before. I've always told you, I think you're like way too.
I get way too mad at
you. Get way too mad at
yeah.
Xanderhall specifically. There's something about Xanderhall. You don't even do this with Vosh, really. At least not that I've noticed.
Yeah, and it's weird. It's weird. I want to know the exact reason for it, but Flamenco was never really given a thing. All he said was, "Oh yeah, he was annoying. He was trying to get on the kill stream to debate us." But like, how many lefty streamers have been trying to do that? You know, how many people wanted to debate Ralph or someone else who was on the show? Right? It doesn't make sense for Flamenco to be mad at Xanderhall specifically, because the behavior that Xanderhall has done, from what he's told us, sounds like what a lefty streamer would do when they're talking to co-host of the kill stream. You know? Any enemy of Flamenco is ideologically evil, and anything can be done to them. While I believe it's fair to think that about Ralph because he's a bad guy, I don't really think Salvo, who is a troll, and Xanderhall, who is dumb, are worth burning your reputation over. Because Flamenco views Xanderhall as such, in such contempt, he showcased his true colors that night and revealed something he wanted to do to him, hurt him. Seems a little too far for just internet beef, but hey, don't ask me. I'm normal. Flamenco is not. That's why he thinks this is perfectly fine. He doesn't expect for it to backfire in his face, and that's why he had to surrender. He had to surrender this insanity. So for a few minutes go by in this debate, and eventually I get him to outline what he thinks harassment is. All right, so let's listen to that. Let's listen to what he thinks harassment is.
Yeah.
Okay, but before we play the clip, I'll read some of the comments here. I need my child army to wrangle me when I get too emotional. I'm disappointed with Flam. He put himself in a situation where he should have obviously avoided. Hell, maybe laughed at it, but no. What did Xander Hall do? He's getting crap for no reason. LMAO. At least Xander Hall isn't fat. Xander Hall blocked me, so that makes him my favorite lefty. Kiwi Farms should be the last site anyone should be spending all day on. True, guys. True.
That's the thing, right? Like he's been saying that you're a harassing, like crazy stalker or something. All you've done is fucking be annoying in his DMs and stream snipe him. I don't really think that that's harassment, right? But if you like fucking email his mom and fucking send him like petty shit or something,
personally, I don't think that's harassment either. But
I think it's like a lower tier form of harassment. I mean, it's not the worst thing in the world, but I mean, it's definitely beyond the scale of normalcy. I would say. I don't know.
Yeah. I can understand that. I can understand
Yeah,
that. Again,
just keep it to the video level. And
again,
if he starts engaging in life ruination, like actual life ruination shit, like if he starts like arguing for you.
I don't know if you guys can see it, but here is the Vosh posting L's account, aka Hal, aka Flamenco's #1 cheerleader. He's saying that Augie is dumb, and because Hal is 100% for the doxing. In fact, the document later goes on to talk about how several times he's threatened to dox several members of Augie's audience and the commentary community in general simply because he doesn't like them. But yeah, let's continue on with this
to get deplatformed even, stuff like that. Well, then fuck him, dude.
Well, he probably will in that video. He probably will in that video.
Him, like, don't.
Yeah, he's still trying to justify. Well, he could. There's always the potential that he could. He thinks harassment is. Somewhat engaging in literal life ruination attempts isn't harassment, according to Flamenco. But we have to come to find out that Flamenco thinks Salvo spam calling him on Discord. Yeah, spam calling. Let's look at this. I'm hoping. Yeah, here we go. Here is Flamenco's Twitter account before it got suspended. Flam, he's just a troll. And then there are the messages of Salvo trying to attempt to message him. As we can see throughout those ones, that's pretty much nothing compared to what he's done. Even though Flam asked him to call in. Oh, let's look at this link here.
Because he asked me to.
Fine, Salvo can call in if he wants, I guess. I don't know.
So yeah, the whole the whole him spam calling him was because he was trying to get into the show. Asked him to call in, or stabbing a Sonic doll. Like, yeah, let's go to Nick's Twitter account for this one. Flamenco has exceeded my expectations. If you told me a week ago he would go down this hard, I would seriously struggle to believe you. Now, what's he talking about? Let's play the audio.
Can you play the clip that I DM'd you?
What, the Salvo one?
Yeah.
All right.
You guys remember how
Hold on. Let me go live so you can see it. Are you there?
Yeah.
I goddamn hate Flamenco? I hate Flamenco, and I hate Sonic. And it's coming from a place of pure and honest vitriol. I genuinely hate him. And I hate everybody talking about him, and I hate how people are acting like he's cool, and that grown men should be watching him on the screen. I want him dead. I want him to burn in hell. I want to rip that motherfucker apart. And I mean that. I want to kill him. I want to stab him repeatedly. I want
You can't tell already this is a bit, but then Flamenco proceeds to take it seriously.
I'm curious, like, this is like open season now. Anybody can say that they want to kill somebody live on air like that?
Do you think this clip is serious, Flamenco?
No, but does that mean that like people are able to just do that whenever they want now?
Do you know what he's about to do?
Yeah, he stabs himself in the hand like a fucking retard.
This is what he does. He fucking rips up the Sonic doll. Do you think this is this violates some like grounds of internet ethics?
No, I'm just saying that if
No, I'm just saying. Oh, wait, hang on. Let me vote.
like anybody else, and they were saying that they wanted to kill somebody, it would probably be handled a little bit different.
No, actually, it wasn't. A good example of that is what happened to Leafy, because Leafy had someone put his face on a doll, and then the person proceeded to stab the doll to death. Or saying, KYS, it's all horrible harassment. Let's play this clip.
Just like calling. Well, no, hold on. I go through like all my constant shit where people are like constantly trying to like go at me and try to fuck with me and all that sort of stuff. And you know, Salvo goes in and says, "Hey, go kill yourself." Like, oh yeah.
And you're gonna take that serious?
Like,
and you're gonna take that seriously?
Retard logic.
Why do you
dude.
take that? And you're gonna take that seriously? Why would you take that seriously?
Seriously, I just don't fucking like.
Okay, then why are you bringing it up in the first place?
Because I don't fucking like the guy, and if a person.
I don't like the guy. Give me a break. This guy is a joke. He's delusional. So immediately when I tell Flamenco exactly that he's being insane, he backs off and agrees with me. Oh, that's interesting. Let's. Oh wait, okay, he's talking about this one, but yeah. Let's see.
What the chat considers life ruination tactics, and the chat's sitting here like saying that you sound insane, and they're telling me to come in and tard wrangle you, basically, right? Like,
Dude, I probably did need tard wrangling.
Even your own community was sitting there.
He admits it. He admits that he needs to be wrangled.
He was thinking like, whoa, we're not cool with this, right? Like, doesn't that tell you something that maybe that's a little bit of an abnormal thing to do?
Yeah, fair enough. I again, I was only spitballing ideas, and I've already kind of cooled off just a little bit. I don't know.
I've cooled off, Augie. Don't worry. I've cooled off. This is why Flamenco is actually conceding to his points with me. When in any other debate he's losing, he sticks to his point like an idiot, never budging. Like in this debate with Mike.
Okay, you try to compare the situation to Zaptai. You do understand that Zaptai was actually canceled and actually had to leave the internet. Meanwhile, there were cancellation attempts on you, but you managed to get out of those with everyone saying you took the W on both
I've lost
situations.
subscribers and like overall concurrent viewers, so no, it actually has impacted me.
Oh, you're right. You lost subscribers. That's definitely equatable to leaving the internet and having to totally change your name.
I don't know if
As you can see there, that was a Mike W. Or in this argument with Aiden, where he claims allegations are evidence, which is hilarious coming from this guy being accused of being a pedo every month. But yeah, let's read that. Not read, let's listen to that.
A claim that somebody committed a crime, and your only proof is the testimony of a Twitter user.
Right.
Did you not make a claim that somebody committed a crime? and your only proof is the testimony of a Twitter user.
Yep. Yep, that's his only evidence is, well, someone tweeted about it, guys. You don't understand. Someone tweeted that apparently this person did it. Or in this debate with Nick, where he suffers from complete meltdown. Let's watch this. Let's watch this.
You can't argue with a person who doesn't actually want to argue. Nick
No,
is
I
just
want to
like
argue. I'm winning very much right now.
You just
I
want
wanna
to
keep
I'm
talking.
right, you're wrong. You just want to.
No, I just want you to
Okay.
describe what you were just saying. What would you describe that as?
I just consider it as being pedophile.
Okay, so you would say he's a pedophile.
Did he rape a kid?
That's not the question. If you think that Turkey Tom would be a pedophile for
oh
fucking...
my god! Oh my god! Oh my god!
If
Nick,
you
you
think
are
that
so
Turkey Tom-
fucking thick-headed. It's so fucking painful, dude.
No, you're literally being bad faith. So if you said
No,
that Turkey Tom
How
set you
the
up
fuck
for
am
being
I being
a-
bad faith?
I don't think he's
The
being
fuck
bad
am I
faith.
being bad faith?
Because if you just said that
Wait,
Turkey
what
Tom
fucking
sexed
way
a
am I being bad
14-year-old,
faith? Answer the fucking question, fat shit.
I was
Oh,
in the middle
shit.
of saying that.
Answer the fucking question.
If I had to guess, it would probably be the ad hom
Answer the
just now.
fucking question.
Well, yeah, I think I just did too.
No, you didn't. Answer the fucking question. Oh,
I just did. It would probably be the ad hom.
Saying that might be an explanation as
Oh my god, Flamenco, you don't help yourself whatsoever. You don't help yourself. When Flamenco argues, he plays for the chat. You can hear this, especially with this debate he had last weekend. Let's see. As if they found you anywhere. Let's see. Let me read some of the chat. I had to listen to this a few times to catch everything. If you found you were anywhere in a new channel and they would harass you until they delete, Flam has been through that yet? No. God, I honestly love Augie's face during this video. LOL.
A lot of running.
Do you have anything you want to say to Nick before we exit?
I mean,
this
like
whole
this
topic?
fucking like I don't know, this feigned impartiality. Like I
I'm not impartial. I don't like
no,
you.
This feigned impartiality. Yeah, I know you don't like me.
Okay,
like,
it's
been
done
pretty
now.
open-
Like
I know,
bridge burned. Okay.
Fantastic. Finally, you got actually, say what you actually mean for the last like.
Dude, does that mean
year
no
and a
more
half.
phasmophobia? What the fuck? Flam, I've always said what I meant. I don't want to hate you, but I do. You're like
Bullshit, bullshit. You actively fucking lied when I called you out on saying that you didn't like my channel, and you're like, I never said that. It's like, yes, you.
I don't.
Did.
I don't dislike your channel. In fact, I've
You
watched it
literally
multiple
fucking
times.
said that.
Well, I mean, Flamenco, I mean, if we're going to talk about people lying, I mean, come on now. On last week's After Hours, you can literally audibly hear Tom say something like, "What the F are you saying? Why do any of us care?" The chat was even roasting him for saying he desperately wanted to be Nick's friend. Honestly, with the way Flamenco treats Nick in private, which is different than how he treats him in public. Well, let's take a look at this, shall we? Let's take a look. Screenshot from Nick's video. Here's a community post from Flamenco. Just dropped 300 pounds of dead fence-sitting weight. And then, what I assume to be around the same time, Flamenco says, low-key though, even with open animosity, just let me know if I say something that legit bothers you. Oh, and what's this? We have some messages between Flamenco and Mike the Bike during the initial drama. Let's look at some of these. Did you make a song for Salvo? Mike the Bike. I was commissioned. Why? Cool. You're not welcomed in my streams anymore. Lol. Okay. So when I came to you about a chatter calling me a pedo, you did nothing about it. But when I am literally paid to do a harmless parody, I'm unwelcomed? Good to know. Oh, and then this is a bit longer. Let me see if it will zoom in a bit. Okay. Why did you call me a pedo? Am I seriously calling you a pedo, or is it just a joke? I don't ever directly call you a pedo in the song. Still doesn't change the fact that when I directly came to you about someone calling me a pedo in your chat, you did nothing. And I never held it against you. But if we want to point fingers, then we can. You made a song with a hook saying, "Leave those kids alone," for a Spurg who unironically claims I'm a pedophile. But because I don't get into chats beefs, it's totally the same. Okay, buddy. If you think Salvo is someone who can be who is taken remotely seriously, that's on you, dude. The guy is a troll, and you feed him literally every time he talks to you. Lol. Just let the guy call you a pedo. Okay, bro. Dude, if this was Ethan and Ralph, I wouldn't have done it because Ralph is clearly serious about the crap he says. Salvo is a troll, and you spurg about him every time. But whatever, dude. You do you. Or just, maybe I should just not let random guys call me a pedo for no reason. You're right, Flamenco. Stop feeding Salvo rather let him fade away into obscurity. By the way, was Ralph right for cutting Augie off for playing MC Jarbo? Did MC Jarbo overcall him a pedo? Which Mike says no, but if you look at the lyrics, there are several times where where MC Jarbo calls Ethan Ralph a pedo. 100%. So, and this is something. Can I join VC? Let's see. Are you in callers? Yeah, go ahead. Let me drag you in. Beavers, man, you're on the stream. How you doing? Beavers? Beavers? Okay, I'm gonna drag you back into callers, and then hopefully you're by your computer by then. Or guys, it's the same thing with Tommy. The Android glitch is a thing, so if you're calling on an Android, sorry, won't be able to take you. But yeah, let's continue on with that. That's weak. Or accept to member private very differently. The theory that Flamenco thirsts for Nick's approval has some validity, but those are just accusations with no evidence. The point of that segment was we just listened to Flamenco and Nick's debate where Flams attempts to establish that Nick has always disliked Flamenco in private when he pretended to be friends in public. Let me be clear. Nick and Flamenco were never friends. Nick openly disliked him, and that being said, Nick obviously didn't hate him. Nick was concerned about him when he was getting doxxed. The night of Kino Casino, Nick was worried about how Flame would do. He didn't want Flamenco to get destroyed, unless he deserved it, of course. He just found... hey, what if? Okay. Let's see. The night of it, he didn't want Flamenco to destroy it unless he covered his course. The guy personally...
I have no knowledge of any of this. This is so bizarre.
Oh, we got a new subscriber. Matt Warren just subscribed. Thank you. Didn't expect that notification. Point of the segment was openly of dogs and night of casino. Let's be honest. We have all had the feeling that Nick and Flamenco never got along too great. Flamenco fails to establish how Nick was being two-faced or fake, because Nick has only started to actually hate Flamenco recently, after the Mike the Bike / Salvo drama. But going back to what I was saying before, Flamenco plays for the chat, and in my confrontation with him, it was more beneficial for him to surrender his threats to Xanderhall and never discuss the topic again. Wow, that was fast. How could he go from so bloodthirsty to immediately seeing the error of his ways? Well, he just he just remembered how he opened the conversation. Okay, Okay, you ready? Okay, you ready to join now? Okay, hang on. Let me drag you back in. Okay, Beavers, you're on the air.
Is right. He is unable to.
Let me pause that. Beavers, you're on the air.
Yeah. Hello.
Hello. How you doing?
I'm doing good. I was just watching the stream, and it's just I always like find it funny is when I read this is like the whole uh Mike situation with Flamenco is just that I'm pretty sure I don't know if he got it to that point yet or not, but it's just like he gets offended like with him being called a pedophile on like a song that was like paid Bravo. But meanwhile, you have like a bunch of these songs like by this dude that I think Flamenco commissioned to do, like with voice clips and stuff like that, like alternate them to make him say that he like Ethan Ralph like rapes kids and shit
Yeah,
like that.
yeah. I didn't get to the MC Jarbro links, but we did see the DMs between Mike, and Flamenco. And look, I'll be honest. Flamenco has like said so many times, "Oh, I just forgot. I just forgot." At this point, I think he was just lying. He was hoping that no one would check him. What about you?
Yeah, it's like, I mean, here's the thing. I did not have that much like personal interaction with Flamenco that much. The only time that I actually did is like he had like this like gay off that he wants us to do. It was like back in the Clip Live server, and it was like, oh, here guys, here listen, I have this idea. I'm gonna post a lot of these clips and stuff like that of like the stream, and then I'm gonna do like have you guys just like add for Ethan Ralph, and it's like basically with spurging and sort of stuff like that, and like I don't understand. It's like he likes to spurg like at the most stupidest things, like not just towards Ethan Ralph, but towards himself. And when you disagree with him on one thing, he always calls you gunt guarder or stuff like that.
Yeah, it's one of those.
Like,
It's one of those things where, because like the only person he ever really concedes with is Augie, because Augie has the bigger audience, or at least it's someone he wants to be looked at favorably. Even because like even though Nick has a bigger audience, Nick doesn't really have the streamer audience that that Flamenco wants, so he's perfectly fine with like going full spurg on him.
And plus, I think Augie is like at the time he was more neutral with Flamenco than most people were. Like obviously Nick didn't really have that much like a connection towards him whatsoever, stuff like that. But it was just like it was the reason why I was like more comfortable go to Augie than anyone else, because like it was like one, Augie really didn't care that much like personally like with Flamenco's life. I mean, he cared about the doxing and stuff like that, which by the way, that's a totally 100% spurg move on Flamenco's part. But I don't think he like really was like that angered towards him or stuff like that, or like like roast him stuff like for it. But during like this whole situation with like Mike the Bike, with like a bunch of lies that he said throughout Discord, with all this stuff, it kind of gave Augie the second glance to literally like look throughout his Discord usage and stuff like that, and it's just insane. It's literally insane.
Yeah, like I'm sorry. I understand that I understand he has a genuine mental disability, and I'm trying to make fun of him for that. But when someone who is 10 years younger than you needs to like coax you into like, hey, maybe you shouldn't do this thing. Maybe you just need to reevaluate like what exactly you're doing or what you view as okay. But yeah, anything else you want to add, Beaver?
I'd like to say this as well. It's like during the doc stream, every single time he's trying to win a debate, he gets raped, and he got raped 7 times and lost $100. That is massive L.
Dude, we have to recognize that this whole drama started with $50. Salvo ruined a 25K channel's reputation with $50 in a parody song.
Best $50 you can never spend, man.
Exactly. Thank you for your call, Beaver man.
All right, thanks, man. Everyone subscribe if you haven't.
Well, thank you.
Also share it with any streams or on social media whatsoever. Give my boy a like as well. See you, man.
Couldn't agree more.
Have a good
Oh, I accidentally disconnected him before he could say have a good day. Sorry about that, Beaver. Sorry about that. But yeah. Anyway, let's continue on. Let's play this clip.
Really damage me. I think that the broad
Oh,
majority
and if you guys want to call in, just join the Discord server and then get into call-ins, and we should be good to go.
of my audience doesn't care. Most of my audience is either people who have come in from Augie's sphere, who hate this guy, from the VTuber sphere, who have no fucking clue who this person is.
Oh, wait, did I already play that clip? Never mind, sorry. That's right. He only was going to do this if he could sell it, if it sold well with his audience. It didn't, so he stopped. To further add proof to the theory, here's a clip of me finding out he immediately ran a stream poll to effectively ask his audience permission to harass Xanderhall's mother. Okay, let's look at this.
So, would telling
You made a poll?
mommy and getting
Yeah, I made a poll.
him cut.
He sounds proud. He's like, yeah, I made a poll. Like, dude, that's pathetic. That you chat isn't okay if I use doxing stuff to win this internet debate.
Off be too far. Let you guys.
In
you guys
fairness,
ask.
chat was pretty
like,
on the, on
I
the
could
level. They were like, yeah, don't do this.
So yeah, if his chat didn't say no, he would have done it. I bet you if Hal was in the call with him, because sometimes Hal calls in, right? Sometimes he's in the VCs with him. So if Hal was in that VC with Flamenco, I could totally see him whispering down his ear, being like, "No, you need to do this. This is okay to do." We'll find out he immediately did. Holy crap. Obviously, the next morning, I was thinking about that call I had the previous night with Flamenco, and I decided I wasn't satisfied with how that situation ended. Flamenco really revealed a weird side of him, and I didn't think I did enough prying. So I fired up a stream and talked about him again. Upon re-listening to this conversation while writing this article, I noticed I was comparing his behavior to Ethan Ralph's, just like how I was doing today. Kind of funny how every time he gets into controversy, he looks just like Ralph. Watch how he sucks up to me when I bring this up.
Okay. So that line you said there, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm a petty person. I will go as low as people do. That is like quote for quote something Ethan Ralph would say.
Yeah, I can see that.
So when I'm
his own response, like, I mean, I guess, you know, it's a possibility. I guess that's a possibility. You know, I could have behaved like that.
Telling you that you sound exactly like Ralph, like, it's not just me exaggerating. Like, that's literally Ralph's justification. I'm petty as fuck. People don't know how fucking petty I am. Oh, when they go low, I'll go lower. You know?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, I can understand that. I can understand that. I definitely like. I'm not. Somebody in the chat was bringing it up, and I'm gonna like be 100% real with you guys. Like, I definitely overreacted. This is definitely overreaction. I got really fucking mad.
Yeah. Flamenco accepts that he was acting like Ralph, but argues the difference between him and Ralph is that he's self-aware and will calm down and take accountability for something that Ralph is incapable of doing himself. What that really means is Flamenco will act like Ralph for as much as he can get away with, while still trying to look cool with his Medicare/Augie audience, which actively disavows that sort of behavior. But of course, at the time, I didn't think like this. As you can see from my pinned comment, even Nick in the chat is condemning him commending him for calming down about the situation. Then it got worse when Flamenco was forced to defend his potential doxing of Xanderhall's mother. Let's look at this.
Let me just be clear. So when you send like quote unquote a letter to his mom, like what does that mean? Like an email or like a physical letter?
An email. Just send something that like, hey, this is all the shit that your son's been saying about you on the internet. Take it that as you will.
How are you planning on doing like how are you planning on getting her information basically, right? Because that's almost sounds like a dox threat.
No. I think like because he was already doxed before.
He was already doxed, so it's okay if I use the information in the docs. Flamenco's logic.
I wouldn't post it or anything. I would just like, I don't know. I can understand how that comes off too.
Well, how are you going to send her the email?
I think it's already available, but I'm not entirely sure.
It's already available, so I might as well use it, right?
Fair enough.
Flamenco's logic. Okay. No, I guarantee you, if that was Nick arguing that, he would have died on a hill. He would have died on a hill trying to be like, no, I'm justified in doing it, right? When Flamenco, I immediately said, that doesn't sound good, dude. And his reply was, okay, fair enough. Dude, what I could possibly even write here, the jokes just write themselves. He does this again. Flamenco, I believe that with Xanderhall being subsidized by his mom, Augie, you sound like a schizo. How do you know that, and why do you care? Flamenco, yeah, fair enough. What? He's obviously gunning hard for my approval in this conversation, which goes back to my previous point of him playing for chat's approval. He can tell that I'm startled by his recent actions and might think he's a little weird for that, and he thinks that if I think he's weird, he will actually lose a portion of his audience. So obviously he doesn't want that to happen. So if he's going to play kissing butt, Flamenco says that I tarred wrangle him and saved him from doing something dangerous. But did I really? All I did was tell him the obvious, and he immediately turned back. I hardly had to convince him of crap. He just agreed with me the entire time, while only arguing certain points, such as not equating to harassment, where I explicitly destroyed him. Oh, let's listen to this, shall we? Let's listen to this.
To do with it.
But like in this clip, you're like, I want to ruin his job.
Yeah.
Right? Because you think that what you would be doing would affect his job.
It would
because
be...
you think that his mom is paying his bills, and by causing a wedge between him and his mom, obviously mom's not going to pay the bills anymore, which is what you think is happening. So you think you're going to make this dude fucking homeless unless he's able to get another fucking job. That's insane.
I mean, you can't spell it out any more than that. Like, dude, why are you, like, if the mom really subsidized his income, why are you trying to go after that? Flamenco has not he never presented a justifiable argument for any of this. In a few seconds, Augie, how is this not a big deal? Flamenco, no, you're right. He just folds instantly when I tell him the basic truth. To his credit, however, he did apologize for his actions. The legitimacy of the apology is highly doable, but he did apologize. Yeah, but again, it was a fake apology, though, because he was just basically because every single time the Xanderhall thing has been brought up, he's defended that point as much as he could, even when he was talking to Augie the other night. A few months later, on March 27th, 2022, Flamenco entered a debate with Aiden about Keffals. Aiden, who actually was a Keffals critic, still had an issue with Flamenco publishing allegations as proof of crime. Flamenco claimed that Keffals stole money from a communist political party that she was in charge of and used it for opioids, which she was apparently addicted to, and the dominatrix work she was participating in. Yeah, while hilarious, Aiden is correct in pointing out that that isn't really evidence. Again, Keffels, this is another person that Flamenco obsesses over. It's not to the level of Xandahal, but this is another person who he spends a large majority of his time in their kiwi farms, Fred, complaining about them. Pointing out evidence, this is Flamenco we are talking about here. This guy who has been accused of being a pedo about 3 times and narrowly gotten away with it just due to the fact that there wasn't any solid proof of him doing anything with children. The burden of proof lies on the accusers, and in this case, the person accusing Flamenco of being a pedo would have failed to prove the guilty of any of his crimes. However, in Flamenco's world, accusations are actually evidence. Anyone's word could be true, and it's up to you to prove your innocence, rather than the accusing party having to prove you're guilty. Listen to this. I remember watching this live. As well. It was insane.
Okay. So I asked for like the tweet with like proof relating to the claim, and this is what you linked as your proof. Do you understand why this is not enough to state something as fact, especially an accusation of a crime?
I don't think that's true.
So you think the word of a Twitter user is enough to state something as fact?
I think that it's more evidence than Keffels has laid out for any of her claims.
That's not what I'm asking. I'm not asking how much evidence she's laid out. I'm asking, in your personal opinion, do you think that the word of a Twitter user is enough to state that somebody committed a crime as a fact?
With this one specifically, I think it's a pretty credible allegation.
Because of this Twitter user who probably got their information on kiwi farms, specifically the Keffels thread that Flamenco often frequents. Oh, it's credible evidence because I've been in the threads. I've looked at all this. Like, come on, Flamenco.
Okay. Regardless of how credible you think it is, you stated it as fact. That is the problem that I'm having here. Normally,
In the tweet specifically, yes. Also, I have some spelling errors in that tweet.
I have spelling errors, so it's not an actual accusation. Flamenco struggles to deny that he repeated an allegation, but here the call really takes a nosedive as Flamenco drops the stunning take that allegations are evidence. Flamenco thinks that the tweets make the allegations credible because there's enough there, and because Keffels hasn't adequately debunked it. Again, this is Flamenco who we're talking about here, the same guy who's been accused of being a pedo every month. I wonder if he stands by this. Here's Flamenco playing to the chat again by claiming Aiden is using loaded language when it explained what the burden of proof is. Flamenco's response is that the burden of proof is on the accused to prove their innocence. Remember Kino Casino? Multiple times, Godwin asked Flamenco multiple times whether he realized why people think he's a pedo. Flamenco claims that there isn't substantial evidence for the crime. This, of course, he is correct in. But under his logic from the Aiden debate, he would have to show his entire backlog of Steam DMs to adequately prove his innocence. But then his DMs could be edited or deleted. Someone could boldly claim that Flamenco is a pedo, and then they would have evidence to prove it, and then Flamenco would have to accept that, regardless of the fact that it's literally nothing. Furthermore, there are sealed family court documents of Flamenco from his childhood. The content of these documents is unknown, and honestly, probably nothing very interesting. But of course, the internet, being what it is, thinks the documents are evidence of Flamenco doing stuff with his sister. They've just randomly accused him of this. Any normal person would have heard these allegations and think it's dumb, especially when when there's been no evidence of such crimes. But remember, under Flamenco's logic, all accusations are taken seriously, and if Flamenco wants to prove his innocence here, he needs to crack open his sealed family documents to reveal the contents. And that will do this. He'll never do this, of course, because it's totally unreasonable request, but by his standards, it's the only option he's got to prove his innocence. Therefore, he's guilty. And there's enough build-up, but that's enough build-up. I apologize for taking you guys down 2 rabbit holes that have already been explored and covered to death. But I feel like it was extremely important to revisit and to correct my interpretations on these events. This takes us to last week, 10 days ago. Salvo Pancakes went live on July the 5th, 2022, and released a commissioned song by Mike the Bike and a simple message: Flamenco, leave them kids alone, which immediately sparked a reaction from Flamenco. We might be burning the Mike the Bike bridge, as the clip wasn't bad enough from the start. He just by him broadcasting a meltdown of a parody song on stream, he sounded like he's about to cry while Live and Learn plays in the background. But you know what? This reaction isn't all too unreasonable if he just woke up the next morning or even a few days after and admitted he lost his cool over something that wasn't really worth getting upset over. I just would have been fine with that. It's whatever. Everyone is human after all. And Salvo can be annoying. The problem is with this clip, it isn't an immediate negative reaction to the song, though. It's the inherent hypocritical nature of him crying about a parody song that was made about him, while he promotes MC Jarbo, a writer of far worse songs than Mike could ever hope to be. On Flamenco's channel, he has a playlist of songs where he plays during the stream intro. I'm not going to be playing any of the MC Jarbo lyrics, but yeah, it's been over several times already. And yeah, it's insane that Flamenco could, he plays MC Jarbo songs repeatedly during his streams too. Like, by repeatedly, I mean he plays them almost every stream he did, right? So like this is why I bring up the point of him simply forgetting the lyrics. It just isn't possible. But yeah, like a lot of this document goes through a lot. Well, Salvo is doing a podcast with Keem soon. Flamenco thinks that we are propping up Salvo. Yeah, like Flamenco has this weird idea that everyone is trying to replace him with Salvo when that was never the case. Salvo was just a guy in the community that everyone would laugh at occasionally. Like, Salvo wasn't really viewed as anything really, but now that Salvo has gotten this big boost from Flamenco, I mean, it's at the point where Keemstar knows about him. Keemstar is aware of him. So like you did this to yourself, Flamenco. It's like the thing with Quantum TV, if you guys remember that situation. Mischief would not be 100k sub channel right now if Quantum never freaked out about Mischief doing a video on him. But because of that, look where we are now. By the way, Flamenco is quote-unquote taking a break because allegedly he's moving out. In this document, Augie reveals that that's not the case. In fact, he admitted to Augie in DMs that he's just waiting for this to blow over. He's waiting for the heat to die down so that way he can continue on. God bless God bless the pancake. True. But yeah, like you did this to yourself, Flamenco. You did this to yourself. You've been in everyone's stream that mattered. You've constantly been in streams trying to defend yourself on this, when in reality, you kind of just needed to roll over and let this happen, because if you had just like ignored all this, nothing would have happened. Nothing would have happened, dude. But yeah, before we go out, I have one more thing I want to show, and that is this, which Keemstar tweeted out a couple minutes ago, I believe, or about an hour or so ago. Teddy Fresh is getting exposed for treating employees bad, allegedly. So H3H3 fans are in a group chat on Discord trying to feed me false information and acting like all of their former employees to cause confusion so the real employees don't have a voice. H3H3 and his fans are so pathetic. And here are DMs. I am a former employee of Teddy Fresh and I have information about the company, but never spoke out because I didn't have a platform. I was fired. Hey Keem, I know you probably won't see this, but I used to work at Teddy Fresh as a fashion engineer after getting my associate's degree. I have some details on the employment experience and I think you would like to hear. Hey, I got some info on H3H3/Ethan Klein. I got some crazy dirt on Dan. And yeah, our reviews on Glassdoor's vetted. Most of them are positive reviews that could be faked, says Internet Unwind. But yeah, other than the Flamenco stuff, nothing has really gone on, which, in a way is a good thing, because like it was just so much insanity. I don't think anything else could really be covered. But like this is something that Flamenco could totally bounce back from, but he just can't let it go because he can't really admit he's wrong unless he knows like Augie's backing him up on something, or unless he knows like even his audience wouldn't like it, right? But apparently people are banned in his Discord server for even talking about the stream last night. I'm like, granted it's just alleged, but I would believe it, especially with how like petty he's been. Several of his mods have unironically stated that they want trans people to be dead and like have attempted to dox members of the commentary community like Psych Draws. Flamenco has never looked good in any of these situations. But again, maybe in a year from now, he'll learn his lesson and, you can be welcome back. But honestly, guys, quite frankly, I don't care about the Flamenco situation anymore. So, let me give you the nerdy salute, Flamenco. Flamenco, you shouldn't have done this. You shouldn't have done this, Flamenco. But anyway, guys, thank you for watching the stream. This is Nerdy John, signing out. Enjoy.
Tried, and I've tried even more. I've cried, and I can't recall what for. I pressed, I pushed, I've yelled, I begged in hopes of some success. But the inevitable fact is that it never will impress. I've no more fucks to give, my fucks have runneth dry. I've tried to go fuck shopping, but there's no fucks left to buy. I've no more fucks to give, though more fucks I've tried to get. I'm over my fuck budget and I'm now in fucking debt. I strive to get everything done. I've played by all the rules, but I've very rarely won. I've smiled, I've charmed, I've wooed and laughed, alas to no avail. I've run round like a moron to unequivocally fail. I've no more fucks to give, my fuck fuse has just blown. I've been hunting for my fucks all day, but they've upped and fucked off home. I've no more fucks to give, my fuck rations are depleted. I've rallied my fuck army, but it's been fucking defeated. The effort has just not been worth the time or to realize that I don't give a fuck at all. I've no more fucks to give. My fucks have flown away. My fucks are now so fucked off they refuse to fucking stay. I've no more fucks to give. My fucks have gone insane. They've come back round and passed me while they're fucking off again. I've no more fucks to give. My fucks have all dissolved. I plan many projects, but my fucks won't be involved. I've no more fucks to give. My fucks have all been spent. They fucked off